Welcome back to the Conveyance Desk. In episode 17, we covered service charges and developer NAC, the conditions that have to be settled before a transfer can proceed. Today is episode 18, and this one is about when transfers fail, the 4 failure categories, what pre-flight checking actually looks like, and how to recover from a failed transfer. Quick reminder, this is general educational content, not legal advice. Failure modes manifest differently in different cases, so use this as a guide. Then validate the specifics of any failed transfer with someone close to your file. Here is the framing. Most Dubai transfers complete cleanly. The ones that fail tend to fail for the same reasons. A small set of recurring documentary, financial, structural, and procedural issues that surface at trustee day and force rebooking. The good news, the failure modes are knowable. A transfer that has been pre-flighted against the catalogue rarely fails at trustee day. A transfer that has not is exposed. 1. Why this matters. Failure at the trustee office is expensive. Managers' checks are returned. NOCs expire and need reissuance. The buyer's mortgage offer can lapse. The seller's onward purchase chain is exposed. Rebooking adds 2 to 3 weeks at minimum. In a chain transaction, where the seller is using the proceeds to buy elsewhere, a single failure cascades. The buyer waits. The seller waits. The seller's onward seller waits. Delay multiplies through the chain. This is the cost of failure, not the trustee rebooking fee. The collateral damage to the timeline of every party connected to the transaction. 2. Category 1. Documentary failures. Documentary failures are the most common cause of trustee day stoppage. The documentation presented does not match what DLD or the trustee requires. Missing or expired NAC. The NAC is typically valid for 30 days from issue. If the transfer is delayed past validity, a fresh NAC is required. Defective Form F. Missing signatures. Mismatched property identification. Stale terms not updated for negotiated changes. Missing broker BRN numbers. Incorrect or unattested POAs that are generic. POAs that lack notarization. POAs executed outside the UAE without complete consular legalization, including Mosaic attestation. POAs that fail to comply with DLD Circular 29R, 2025. Verification requirements. Missing identity documents. Expired Amirad's IDs. Expired passports. Documents replaced without the new document being presented. Foreign documents without attestation chain. Apostille presented in place of full consular legalization. The UAE is not a Hague Apostille Convention member. Apostille alone is never sufficient. 3. Category 2. Financial failures. Financial failures arise where the manager's checks presented at trustee day do not reconcile to the calculated amounts. Manager's check amount mismatch. The check to the seller is short or over by an amount that DLD will not adjust at the desk. The trustee will not accept a check that does not match the calculated figure. Mortgage payout shortfall. Where the seller is releasing a mortgage, the buyer's purchase check is split between bank and seller. If the bank's payout figure has changed since Form F and the check split was not updated, the bank will not release the title deed. Service charge arrears. Where service charges are outstanding and were not cleared at NOC stage, the developer can refuse to release the unit. DLD fee underpayment. DLD fee underpayment. The 4% transfer fee is calculated against the DLD assessed property value. Errors arise where the buyer prepares checks against the contract price rather than the assessed value, or where ancillary fees are missed. Admin, knowledge fee. Innovation fee. Mortgage discharge fee, if applicable. 4. Category 3. Structural failures. Structural failures arise where the property itself, or the parties standing in relation to it, has issues that surface at trustee day. Withheld developer NOC, that the developer refuses to issue NOC over disputed service charges, unauthorized modifications, or unsettled snag list items. Resolution requires direct engagement with the developer. DEW, a clearance issue. DEWA, arrears or unclosed accounts on the seller's side can stop the transfer. Where the developer requires clearance as part of NOC. Defective ownership chain. Where a prior transfer in the property's history was incomplete or contested. The current title may be challenged. This surfaces when the trustee runs verification. Undisclosed encumbrances. Court-imposed attachment orders. Registered freezing orders from active litigation. Second charges where the property has been used as security, beyond the principal mortgage. The trustee verification surfaces them. The seller cannot transfer until they are released. 5. Category 4. Procedural failures. Procedural failures arise from execution errors at or near trustee day. Trustee office booking errors. Wrong office. Wrong slot. Booking against an incorrect transaction type. The trustee will not process a transfer outside the booked slot. Party non-attendance. Buyer, seller, or one of the brokers fails to attend. Trustees do not extend slots. Non-attendance forces rebooking. Signatory authority gaps. Where a party is a corporate entity, the signatory's authority must be evidenced by a current company resolution or memorandum. Where a party is acting under POA, the POA must be specific to the transaction, currently valid, and compliant with DLD Circular 29R 2025. Incorrect check payee. Manager's checks drawn to the wrong payee. Typo on the seller's name. Incorrect bank reference. Misspelled developer entity. Each of these is preventable with verification a few days before transfer. 6. What pre-flight checking looks like. A pre-flight check runs the transfer through each of the 4 failure categories 1 week before trustee day. Documentation inventory against trustee requirements. NOC validity confirmation. POA review against DLD Circular 29 R 2025 foreign document attestation chain check. Identity document validity. Signatory authority for corporate parties 48 hours before trustee booking confirmation. Manager's check calculation against DLD's pre-calculated figure. Mortgage settlement figure confirmation. Broker attendance confirmation. Morning of transfer. Parties departure confirmation. Checks in hand. Originals of all documents in hand. Mortgage settlement figure refreshed if relevant. The discipline preempts the failure modes. Where the check surfaces an issue, the issue is resolvable in days, not in the IMSTRA stay. Rebooking sequence that follows a failed transfer. 7. When the failure has happened. If a transfer has failed at trustee day, the immediate priorities. Securing the manager's checks. Return to the buyer, where the failure was on the seller's documentation. Held in trust, where the failure was logistical and rebooking is imminent. Identifying the specific defect that caused the failure. Resolving the defect. Rebooking. Rebooking timelines depend on the defect. Documentary defects, NARC's reissue, POA, reattestation through the Mosaic chain. Typically 1 to 3 weeks. Financial defects, manager's check correction. 1 to 3 working days. Structural defects, developer dispute, ownership chain, weeks or months. May not resolve at all. 8. Chain protection. Where the failure exposes a chain protection becomes a parallel priority. The seller's onward purchase, the buyer's mortgage offer expiry, the leasehold position. A failed transfer that ripples through a chain costs more than the failure itself. This is where time pressure transactions come apart. Direct transactions, where the parties are managing the documentation themselves, without specialized assistance, are at higher risk of chain disruption. Not because the parties are careless, because pre-flight checking is a discipline that requires familiarity with the failure modes. A party going through their first or second property transaction is unlikely to have that familiarity. 9. The rebooking discipline. A rebooked transfer is not a fresh transaction. It is the same transaction, postponed. But the postponement creates new risks. NOC's validity expires. Mortgage settlement figures move. Mortgage offers expire. Identity documents expire. POA validity expires. Each was current at the original transfer date. Each may not be current at the rebooked date. Pre-flight everything for the rebooked date. Treat it as if it were a fresh transfer at a documentary level. Skipping the recheck is how rebooked transfers fail a second time. In the next episode, we will cover foreign buyers and sellers. Document attestation, Mosaic legalization, signing remotely. Fund transfer logistics, and what changes when one party is overseas. That's all for today. This was the Conveyance Desk.